What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This week for the weekly update, all I'm going to be doing is focusing on the Bitcoin price because we're getting some serious movement, and just like I've circled here, there's only really been three huge opportunities where there's been like a market crash, three in the past sort of 4 or 5 years where you could really capitalize. So these moments, they don't come around very often. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to be doing, my strategy for the next few months. Just remember, this isn't financial advice, it's just my own opinion. So take the information, do whatever you want with it. But also, if you appreciate these videos, guys, like it, subscribe it, share it with a friend. I'm sick of getting 16 views in these videos, and I think the information is really valuable, and I'd love to get it in front of more people so they can use the information how they like. All right, these are my dot points for today. It's what I'm going to go through, and I'll eventually give you my price targets. And shit, it's going to be really interesting. Now, the first thing I want to say is that dollar cost averaging is a way where you get yourself into the market with an average price, right? And so, just in case I'm wrong with my price targets, I am going to start dollar cost averaging in now. Let's say, just for a round number, I've got $100,000 I want to put in. I'm probably going to start buying like $1,000 worth every day or two until that money is all in. And that just means that, you know, if the price comes down, whatever, then I get a bit of an average price over the next 100 days, because I do believe that the bottom in Bitcoin will be in the next 100 days. Okay, but I'm hoping that, you know, maybe let's say out of the 100 grand, I do like 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and then I see the price at my targets, around my target, and then I'm going to go in really heavy with the rest of it. So I don't want a dollar cost average in, it's just in case, because you can imagine if my price target was 24,000 US dollars for each Bitcoin and the price came to 25,000 and I didn't get to put my money in, I would be livid. So no matter what, I'm going to be getting a big re-entry with the cash that I've got on the sidelines. So that's dollar cost averaging. It's a safer play, and yeah, that's one of the ways that I'm going to be re-entering into the market. So let's have this stuff's crazy, guys. We're at such a critical point. So the first thing we're going to look at is total 2, sitting at an absolute cliff edge, guys. See this trend line through here? Bang, bang, bang. Guys, we're breaking that trend line. This is our support line, and we're breaking it. And what the pattern here is a head and shoulders. And so to get the target for a head and shoulders, you go from the neckline up to the top, bring that across, bring this across to where the breakout point is, and that means we're looking. This is the price target. Just looking at that head and shoulders, 769 billion. That's a huge drop from here if this played out. So and it happens quickly, guys. You lose the neckline on a head and shoulders, and price can move quickly. So I'm expecting volatility. We've also got this really gnarly. It's the same. This is total 2, so it's crypto, not including Bitcoin. This is the altcoin head and shoulders. It is breaking this trend line, this support line, and I reckon this is going to move fast. We can see the sell volume down the bottom here is increasing, so the selling pressure is going up higher, and I think we're going to get some seriously we're going to bounce as well. There's going to be some days where it's like, oh, we're up 15% in a day. Maybe that was the bottom. You got to be prepared, because there's going to be some serious volatility coming out of this, and now this is the moment to capitalize. All right. So back to my list here. Bitcoin's got a similar head and shoulders pattern. Bitcoin had a similar head and shoulders pattern playing out here, like a smaller one, which was bang, left shoulder, head, and then the right shoulder. And so you can see the neckline here is from the bottom of the left shoulder to the bottom of the right shoulder. You drag that across. And so this was our breakout point. And then we can see that this neckline became so pivotal over the next, 3 months. We came down and retested it and retested it and retested it. So this was just a classic head and shoulders pattern playing out. And it ended up being the top line of our bear flag. So a bear flag looks like this. We've got a flagpole down to here, and then you go into the flag pattern, and then bear flags typically break down, which this one did. We've been speaking about this for a while. This one just broke out of the bottom support line, and so we take that and we smack it here, and it gives us a price target of like $19,000. That's how you measure the price targets on a bear flag. This could get really, really ugly. Do I think we're going to go this slow? Probably not. I'm going to be in before that. I'm not waiting for the teens. Can definitely go there, but for me, I'd just prefer to get my money back in before then, and I just can't stand the idea of the price going up and me not having my money in it. So I'm not waiting for the teens, but that's what that price target is. It's pretty intense when we've got to be really, really careful. All right, Bitcoin dominance. Now, this is this one, I've spoken about this a couple of times, and nobody else is speaking about this, and it's the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is Bitcoin versus the altcoins. Bitcoin versus the altcoins. This here is a Wyckoff pattern, and I've showed it before. Just show it one more time. Wyckoff accumulation. So we can see, selling climax, automatic rally, second test in phase B, come down spring. We have a last point of support, and then we shoot off. So just like we showed on that Wyckoff then, it's a selling climax, automatic rally, second test in phase B, and then we come up and form our spring. And this is our spring, so that's our last point of support. I'll just show you that one more time, right? Second selling climax, automatic rally, second test in phase B, spring. So it looks exactly like that. I'm almost certain that's what we're doing. So what happens here? We can see that there's this support line that Bitcoin held for September 2019 all the way through until September 2021. So for 2 years it held this support line, rallied off it, and came back and just crashed straight through it. Now it's been holding it as a resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and I don't think we're going to be able to hold that as resistance anymore. I reckon this Wyckoff's going to play out. That was our last point of support, and we're about to break through that. And so my guess is, as we break through that, when this thing goes up, Bitcoin does better than alts, but that could mean Bitcoin price is still going down. It just means alts get smashed. And so Bitcoin does better than alts, but everything's going down. And I think that's what's going to happen. I reckon alts are going to get absolutely destroyed. Just like we showed on this total 2 chart. So the total 2 chart again being it's just the altcoins, Ethereum and all of the altcoins, so no Bitcoin. It's about to break that. And the reason why it's so important is because the next level of support is down around here. And so straight away to the next level of support, we're already looking at a 36% drop. So I reckon alts are about to get destroyed. This Wyckoff and Bitcoin dominance looks like it's going to confirm it. Price targets, this is the top of the trading range. So once we break this line, we should shoot straight to there. And I reckon when Bitcoin dominance hits here, there's going to be a big relief rally in the market. When it hits here, that could possibly mark the bottom of the market. And I think that this will go sideways once it gets to the top of this trading range, and then we'll still see this break further north, and Bitcoin will still, in my opinion, outperform the altcoins over the next year and a half. So I'm not holding any alts. I'm just getting ready to buy more Bitcoin. All right, back to the dot points. 3-day death cross. All right, this is so the 3-day death cross is the 50 moving average and the 200 moving average on the 3-day chart. So each one of these candles represents 3 days. So we can see here that when we had the 3-day death cross back in 2018, it was literally the moment that we fell off a cliff edge. The 3-day death cross on the 3-day chart. And so we can see here that we are about to get the death cross on the 3-day chart, and I reckon it's going to play out exactly the same as it did back in 2018. right now, I think this is the capitulation moment. We've got selling volume increasing, all these different factors lining up. All right, so next with the relative strength index. Now, the relative strength index is forming, back on the 3-day chart, it's forming a tightening range. You know, we've got touch point, touch point, touch point through there on the top. And then across the bottom, you can see that we've got touch point, and it's compressing into this tightening area, right? It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and I think that next time the RSI comes down and starts touching this bottom line, that this is sort of going to be the best buying opportunity. Maybe we break a little bit below it and snap back above it, and I would say that as we come down to this bottom trend line, it is go time. So keep an eye on that. You just go into indicators on TradingView, type in relative strength index and bring that up. Keep an eye on this bottom trend line. I think it's going to be crucial and provide a good insight into the best buying opportunities. Now, the next one is this cycle's support line. So I'm going to flick to the BLX chart. It has the full history of Bitcoin. And get rid of this. And we can see that at the start of this rally, there was a support line that we were holding, right? All the way through here. Shit, let me just try and get rid of this. All the way through here. Support line, support line, support line, and then we shot off it. And so I think that the capitulation is through this support line. So as soon as, what does that tell us? The support line right now is at 30,860. So if we went down to 30,860 and broke through it, that to me would signal our capitulation candle. So all we can do is go back in history and have a look at when we broke previous market cycle support lines. So this was the support line for this market cycle, and then when we broke it here, we can see that as we broke it, it was instantly you're getting, like 2 days after you broke it, you're buying Bitcoins at 4,200, which is just a phenomenal entry. So the very bottom, after we broke it, was from here to here. So it was within 24 days that the bottom came once it capitulated through there. So we've got 24 days on that chart. The previous cycle support line was through here, and so then we capitulated through there, and so we can see that as we capitulated through, this is actually a 3-day chart, and so I'm just going to flick it to the 1 day. Hold on. Sorry. So this is the same part that we're at. So as we capitulated through it, that was the capitulation day. It was the next day. The next day was the bottom. So we've got one took 24 days to hit the bottom. One bottom was the next day. So if we start breaking that 31,000 level, we're starting to get an idea of, okay, maybe it's the next day it's the bottom. Maybe it's 24 days later. There's only really one more data point that we can look at. And it's a little bit, this is when Bitcoin's price was 11 cents, right? So it's a little bit hard to gauge, but in my eyes, this is the line, this is the support line that it held. And then once we broke through, once we capitulated through it, it was 2 days until we got the bottom. So we've got 3 data points. One says 24 days once it capitulated through, it was the bottom. One says it was the next day. One says it was 2 days later. So if we break this support line, this is our support line. If we break this support line and go below sort of 29,000 US dollars, and we're just free falling, then history would tell us that it could be within a couple of days of breaking 29 that we find the bottom. So that's when I'm just going to start piling my cash in aggressively. All right, let's go back to here. What else have we got? This cycle support, 200 weekly moving average. All right, the 200 weekly moving average has just provided support for the Bitcoin price throughout the entire history, right? So if we put that on the chart, we can see that the 200 weekly moving average, we found support on it here, we found support on it here, we found support on it here, and so it actually came through here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times in history we've used that as support and bounced off it, and I reckon that's where we're heading. So the 200 weekly moving average is currently at, you can see it here, is currently at 21,700. So, do we have to repeat the past? No, of course not. I'm not going to be waiting for it to get this low, even though it could definitely come this low, even though it could definitely go lower. I'm going to start entering a little bit higher just because I want to get back in. In my mind, there's no difference between 24,000 US dollars for each one and 22,000 or 20,000 or 18,000. I don't care. 24 and 18 for me is the same, because my outlook in the future is like, I reckon we're looking at $250,000 for each one in 3.5 years. So you're looking at a times 10 if you're getting into 25, and my hypothesis plays out. So I just don't care. Anything at 24 and a half, I'm just going to start absolutely loading up. And remember, that's not financial advice, it's just what I'm doing now. If we switch this to the 5-day chart, 5-day chart, we can see that the 200 weekly moving average, every time it was below that, it was the best times to buy. Every time it was below that, it was the best times to buy. Below that, best times to buy. And so I do think we go below the 200 5-day moving average. So right now we can see it here again. Right now it's below 20, it's at 28,000. So as soon as we start going below 28,000, it's the same as it's at such a similar level as where my support line's at, right? They're both at the same point. As soon as if we break these areas, I'm just going to jam it in hard. So my price targets are about 24,000, and remember that I'm going to also start dollar cost averaging in. So just in case the price doesn't go that low, I'm still going to get my money back into the market. But I do think that we're probably going to, I think that, see this bear flag here? Now everyone's talking about the bear flag, right? And so if we come down and break south like the bear flag should and come down to about here, what I think is going to happen is we start forming what looks like another bear flag. And so people's memories are just like, they just remember what just happened. So everyone will be going, oh, that bear flag, they will be saying that bear flag played out down to here, and now we're forming another bear flag. And so if we go from the bear flag south and this breaks again, then we're going to be looking at a $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 Bitcoin. Let's say a $13,000 Bitcoin. So everyone's going to think bear flag, down again. But I really don't think that this would break lower and stay down there. I reckon it's going to be a bit of a fake out. When we're down here, it's going to like kind of trend up and then drop rapidly and trend up and drop rapidly, and it's going to scare the shit out of you. So just make sure you don't. And I guarantee you, if we go down to the low 20s, you will hear everybody talking about us going into the teens. And we can go into the teens, but if we do, we won't stay there for very long. But you'll hear everyone talking about teens, and so you want to sit on the sidelines. But look, the difference between 22, 23,000 and 17, 18,000, it's just not big enough to worry about. Your bigger problem, in my opinion, will be waiting for the teens, and it never gets there. Look at this price, 34.4. It's just coming down hard. We spoke about this price target in March 6th when the price was up around $44,000. We capitulate through, we pick up Bitcoins at about $24,000 for each one. So we've been speaking about this for a while. So I put a short on, which is going well. I'm up 360%. Just in the space of a couple of months, which is nice. So you can make money on the way up and make money on the way down. And the reason I show you that is just because I don't say buy very often. I don't talk about buying very often. I bought here aggressively, I bought here aggressively, and I bought here aggressively. So I'm not like a perma bull of like, hey, get ready to buy Bitcoins. Like all through here, I was yelling sell like a madman. And so just in my opinion, this is one of those moments where you need to be ready to rock and roll. I hope people aren't feeling too much pain. I know there's a lot of people that didn't put any money on the side and they're just watching their money get smashed, and I hope you're doing okay. I expect us to probably be in a lower trading range for the next 6 months, probably down in between 20 and 30 for a little while, and then we'll pop back out. So you've just got yourself into a position where you have to hodl. My outlook in the future of crypto is phenomenal. There's no way that there's no way it's not going to crank. People are putting into the superannuation funds now. The banks are all getting ready to hold it. There's regulatory clarity coming in from every single different sector. It's getting endorsed by some of the greatest hedge fund managers in the world. You're seeing custodial services from people like BlackRock and Fidelity, and it's in such a good position. We're getting a buy opportunity again, and my guess is that we won't be back around the 60,000s until the middle of next year at the earliest. But then, over the next couple of years after that, I reckon we're going to $250,000 for each one. So there's blue skies ahead, even though there might be some short-term pain. So keep your head up. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching to the end. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.